Hello, my name is Eric, and today we're going to discuss how to change the shaft on an Oil Gear PVWJ B-frame pump. That would be the PVWJ 025, the PVWJ 034, and the PVWJ 046. The procedure is going to be the same for all pump displacements. It works best if we roll the pump back up on its valve plate. That gives us access to the snap ring that's in the front. I already have the snap ring removed, but this is going to have to come out first. What I found works very well is before I take that snap ring off, I gently tap on the end of the shaft. That separates the drive end bearing from the snap ring, which makes the snap ring easier to remove. At this point, we can pull the shaft out of the pump. There's no need to disassemble the valve plate or change any of the settings on the control. Sometimes I can pull these out by hand, but generally what I found works well is to use a wrench to give me a little bit of leverage. So just a slight bit of force, it'll start pulling the shaft up. And the back of a hammer or a piece of wood works very well. Apply slight pressure to the end of the shaft, and I'm able to pull out the entire shaft and bearing assembly. So there's our shaft and bearing assembly. Behind that is going to be a shaft seal retaining ring. That comes out next. So at this point, we could replace the shaft if the shaft was damaged. If we want to change from a spline shaft to a keyed shaft, we could drop that new shaft right into the pump. This also gives us access to the shaft seal. The shaft seal is located here. If we had a leaking shaft seal or something was damaged, we could remove the shaft seal and put in a new one. Generally, if I'm changing out a drive shaft, there's no need to change the shaft seal. So before I assemble it, I'm going to lubricate the parts well, so I have a coat of oil on the shaft and the splines. Putting my shaft seal retainer in. There's no front or back to that. I'll take my drive shaft. I'll be able to rotate that, and it's going to drop into the splines in the rotating group. And I'll gently tap that with a mallet. Gently tap that with a mallet. And as you can see, it's going into the cavity. Tap that down, and it bottoms out, and I'll be able to clearly see the snap ring groove. At that point, my snap ring pliers, compress this, drop it into place, and that's how easy it is to change the shaft on a PVWJ B-frame pump.